Greetings and salutations and welcome to Illegitimate Legends, the show where I like to talk about some of the more unusual... Nope. Greetings and salutations and welcome to Illegitimate Legends, the show where I like to talk about some of the more unusual League of Legends builds. This week we are taking a look at an AP Udyr build, which I quite like, and the only problem being that I completely changed my mind of what I wanted to do at the last minute. Or rather, the last recording. I had the idea that I'd just do an AP attack speed Udyr, which is... I did it for 4 or 5 games, and it's alright. It's average. The problem is, Udyr is typically a very healthy champion, lots of survivability built into him, because he's completely melee-based. I didn't have that with the AP attack speed builds that I came up with, so I eventually decided to rework it, and came up with a sort of AP bruiser. I came up with a list of everything that I wanted in Udyr. I wanted AP for 1. Easy enough to get. I wanted health, armor, magic resist, movement speed, and attack speed. That's 5 things. Throw in boots, that's a finished item build. So I came up with a build basically having 1 item fit each role while still giving AP. So, how about we talk about the item build itself? First thing you want to do is get a, I think they call it a Seeker's Arm Guard. It builds into Zhonya's Hourglass. You buy the cloth armor first and 5 potions, and that's a very old school way of jungling, but it still works, and it gets you a nice start toward where you want to be going. On your first B, finish out the Seeker's Armlet, move on to your next item, your shoes. Mercury Treads, because everyone likes resistance to stuns and other crowd controls. That's going to be really useful in your ganks because this is a jungle build. After Mercury Treads, go straight into an Abyssal Scepter. Nothing hugely special there. I just wanted the magic resistance, and it turns out cutting down your enemy's magic resistance really helpful for your nukers. Who'd have thought? That's the first 3 steps filled out. I've got armor, magic resistance, and decent amount of AP at this point. You can choose now to finish on his Hourglass. I usually postpone it toward the end of the game and go for the next item, the Rylai's Crystal Scepter. Health and AP. That slow is also really, really nice. Last 2 items you want are to start getting your damage output up, Nash's Tooth for attack speed and ability power, and a Lichbane because, wow, on Udyr, Lichbane is remarkable. Just kinda blows my mind how effective that item is. Like I said, play it in the jungle. You got a fairly standard jungle path. You want to get to level 4 before you go into ganks, because at level 4 you've definitely got the 3 abilities that you want. Don't grab Tiger Stance because it's completely useless to this build except for taking down towers. So you've got your stun, you've also got the shield to help take some extra damage, and you've got your Phoenix Stance carpet bombing. Phoenix Stance has a 0.45 ratio. So AP goes quite a long way on your Phoenix Stance. Not the longest, and it's every 3rd hit that you get that extra burst of damage, but that's still reasonable. At the same time, you also get the pulses with your activation. I don't know the AP ratio on those, but turns out you get a lot of AP on your champion and you cut down the enemy's magic resistance. That carpet bombing, it burns. A lot of damage can come into that, which can get you assists that you wouldn't necessarily get, because turns out the range on that is just a little bit longer than your attack range. The problems with this build have already been said, really. He's a very, very short-range champion, which is why I really wanted to pick up movement speed, but didn't want it too early because it wasn't going to have a massive impact if I couldn't survive it. Udyr is slow, which is why you need your bear stance, and if you thought when you saw the patch a while back, oh, Udyr gets a short dash at the end of when trying to punch people and stun them. don't even think about relying on that. That dash is like... it's about 10 distance. I don't know the exact figures, but it will get you nothing. That dash will afford you nothing except getting right up in the minions' faces when you're punching them down. Nothing else will come of it that's particularly good. Skill combos, well, you're still Udyr. You don't have skill combos. Open with Bear Stance. Use Phoenix Stance and Total Stance to do damage and take damage. And then when you think they're ready for another stunning, drop back into Bear Stance, and then back into Phoenix Stance. One tip I can recommend, always pop into Phoenix Stance on the Summoner platform, particularly at level 1, and then activate it again when you actually get into a fight. After your first attack, but still activate it again. That will get you a double tap on the burst from the passive effect of Phoenix Stance, because you've got it from the first activation, and then when you activate it again, it will reset the countdown so you get another one. That double tap can deal a lot of damage that you don't really expect. I don't actually play Udyr outside of this build, and so I don't know what else there is to him. I don't understand Udyr at all to say what else he's got. For the most part though, I found this build very effective. The combination of high magic resist, high armor, the ability to turn into a fancy bear statue, and as I mentioned before, that carpet bombing slow, you've got a lot of survivability while at the same time having a reasonable damage output, and you will frustrate the hell out of the enemy team. Udyr has more stuns than anybody else simply because they're stuns on his auto attack. You have stuns coming out of every single orifice. It's actually really amazing and will turn the tide of any team fight if you can play him well. I'm never going to say that I can, but I'm sure someone of you can do more with this than I did. Mostly I just got a bajillion assists. That's really all there is. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time for another Illegitimate Legends. Thank you, and good night.